Today, lesson 2-6, zeros in the Multiplicand. As I just told you guys off camera, we are continuing to expand and build upon our multiplication skills. We all remember how this chapter started. 5 times 3, 7 times 4. And then we started working with a bunch of extra zeros. What happens when we multiply by 10, by 100, by 1,000? Then we continued that process where instead of it being 10, 100, 1,000, what about if we do it times 30 or times 300 or times 3,000? Then we worked on estimating some stuff with some bigger numbers still. So today we're going to focus on zeros, but the big difference about today and what we've done before is we've worked with zeros before. Here's 2-4, here's 2-3, and we certainly worked with zeros these days. But notice where the zeros are located. They have always been at the very end, right? And we had learned a technique and strategy how to solve these types of problems. Our 3-step process, where when we have zeros all the way at the end, our 3-step process. Step 1, multiply the non-zero numbers. Step 2, count all the zeros in both factors. Step 3, copy the same number of zeros that are in your factors into your final answer. So the difference today is we still got the zeros, but notice where they're located. Outside of maybe number 20, and a scattered shot like 10 or 18. But for the most part, the zeros are no longer sitting at the end of numbers, are they? A couple of them there are. So what does this mean? Well, this means our technique of counting all the zeros and all that isn't going to do anything for us. It's not going to help us, okay? We can only use that trick that we've been doing the past couple days when numbers and when there's nothing but zeros, okay? Do we understand that? When we can use the trick that we talked about multiplying the non-zero numbers, counting the total number of zeros, and then adding them into your final answer. That only works when we have multiples of 10, multiples of 100, multiples of 1,000, okay? So I'm going to go through. I'm going to be on page 76 and 77. If you're not already there in your book, you should be. 2-6, zeros in the Multiplicand. We'll be working on problems from this page here. And I'm just going to start right up with problem number 1. We're just going to get right down to it, and I'll kind of walk through the process a couple times. And we'll start practicing a few, and I think we'll be in good shape here. From what I've seen from the quizzes that you guys just did yesterday, your results were really good for the most part. Let me see. I think the class average was close to 90%. So I think the average was about 17 or 18 correct out of 20, which is good. It's a good average. So most of you guys, again, you guys are showing me you know what you're doing with multiplication for the most part here. And I feel you guys are indeed pretty good at multiplying. But it's something that we just got to keep practicing. Yes, Kate? Yes. So here we go. So let's get number 1 written down. And I'm just going to kind of walk through the process as best I can. So I don't want to get really wrapped up about this here. I mean, it's called zeros in the Multiplicand. Yes, Colin? Oh. And the Multiplicand is not really a term I'm going to use at all. A Multiplicand is a number that's being multiplied to a multiplier. So technically, this would be the Multiplicand. This would be the multiplier, because I take my Multiplicand and I got to multiply it by a multiplier. But for our purposes, let's just stick with what we know. factor, factor, product. So if we want to call it zeros in the factor instead, great, let's call it that. All right? We don't need to get crazy, weird, confusing words, right? Cool? All right. So we're all good? We don't have to say multiplicand anymore?
Yeah.
We'll just call it a factor. Great, because it is. Great. All right. So here we go. So I think all of us understand the concept of multiplying. So I'm multiplying a 4-digit number times a single-digit number. And in our lesson today, you'll be faced with either multiplying a 4-digit number times a single-digit number, a 5-digit number times a single-digit number, or a 6-digit number times a single-digit. So the process is going to be the same, except sometimes we're just going to have to go a tiny bit further. So I am multiplying 1,109 times 3. So, Jay, where do I start here? With if I want to multiply this, what am I going to do first, Jay?
9 times 3.
Right, girls.
I don't have a razor.
Okay, here you go. All right. So, exactly right, Jay. We always, when we're multiplying multiple digits, we got to start in the right. So we're going to multiply basically 3 ones times 9 ones. Is what's going on here. This is the ones column. So 9 ones times 3 ones is how many ones?
27.
27. So I can write my 7. What do I do with my 2?
Put it up top of the 0.
Right. I carry it over. I got to regroup. So basically I'm saying 7 ones and 2 tens. Right? 2 tens and 7 ones is 27, right? What?
So basically, the answer between these two just cancels out the 0.
Well, now let's move on to our next one here. So, step 2, we continue along. So now I need to multiply my 1s times my 10s. What's 3 1s times 0 10s?
0.
There's no 10s. But remember, I had to regroup. Over here, I had 27. 7 1s, 2 10s, right? 27. So I got my 7 1s taken care of, but I carried over 2 10s. So now I'm multiplying 3 1s times 0 10s is indeed 0. But remember, right, I carried 2 over, so I got 2 10s. All right, now what do we do? Right, now we go over to the hundreds column. What's 3 times 1? Right. Last step. All right, last column over here, 3 times 1 again. 3,327. Is my answer correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah. Okay.
But there's a shorter way to do it.
How much shorter could it have been done?
By not drawing the arrows.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I'm not going to do them all this slow, but I always start by go through a couple, then less and less, and then before it's all said and done, then I barely need to say anything. Okay, so good. All right, we good with that? Let's try number 2. 6,043 times 4. 6,043. And you guys can take, chop away at it. Yeah, I'll give you guys 20, 30 seconds here, and then I will go walk through it. Yep. That's fine. Want to give most of you a chance to take a shot at it. All right.
Yeah, I probably got it wrong.
All right. So process is exactly the same. Where first up we need to multiply the ones.
12
right? So 12. Now we need to regroup the tens.
You're the one upstairs.
Okay, shh. I'll let you guys help me in just a second. I want to do one more on my own. So first step, 3 times 4 is indeed 12. So we need to regroup. 12 is 2 ones and 1 10. So in the tens, 4 times 4, that's 16 tens. Plus we have one more we carried over. 16 plus 1 gives me how many tens?
17.
So 7 tens. Now I'm carrying 100 over. Regroup it once again. 4 times 0 hundreds is 0 hundreds. Add the 1 that I had to regroup. Finally, I multiply my thousands. 4 ones times 6 thousands is 24. Gives me a final answer, 24,172.
I don't understand one thing.
Yes.
In math, like whenever
Guys.
you do like, let's say like 6 plus 6, it's like 12, and then you add the 1 over there, and then it like adds to the what's it called, the factor? There's like it adds to the another product. Yeah. And you add it right there instead of like at the very instead of at the factor. The factor.
So for your adding part there, again, 6 ones plus 6 ones. Right, I got 6 ones here. There they are. Now I draw 6 more. So how many ones do I have?
Well,
Right, there's 12 ones. But, of course, in our digit system goes 0 to 9. We can't technically have 12 ones. We can, but we represent that if we go into our place value column. What column is this in? The ones, and what column is this in? The tens, right. So we do have 12 ones, but we also have 2 ones plus 1 10.
yeah, but like if it was like 16 plus 6, like and it would be 12, and then the 1 you would add it right above the that one, so that would be 22.
Correct, because we're adding our ones just like we did here, and you've said this is 12 ones. So in my ones column, I got 2, but I'm also carrying over 1 10. Because this is my tens column, so I got 1 10, which is 10, plus the 2 ones.
But my question is like on this, it like you just add it at the very end instead of right before you do the product.
Well, you're saying, why don't I add before I multiply?
Yeah.
Rule orders of operations. We always do multiplying before any addition. Give me the ball, please.
What ball?
The one that's right by Sam's foot. Yep, that ball. Thank you, Sam. So we always have to do multiplying before adding. It's part of orders of operation. It's like a math law that you have to do the multiplying first. It's just a law of math. And that's always going to be the law, like not just this lesson, but forever. Multiplying is like a greater or more important function than adding and subtracting is. It's just the rules of math tell us there's 4. Pemdas, have you guys heard Pemdas?
Yeah.
Right, and that guides the rule of how we do stuff, and it's the same thing here. So there's no parentheses, there's no exponents. So third, multiply and divide. You do all your multiplying and dividing. So I multiply, 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 and only after I've multiplied do I do my adding. Because that's the last part, the AS, addition and subtraction, and PEMDAS. So that happens last all the time. It just is. I don't know why. It's just a math-ism. You know, it's like, why is the sun hot? Well, I don't know. It just is. It's hot.
Because of nuclear explosions.
That is actually correct. Yeah, there's an exothermic reaction constantly taking place between the hydrogen, which bonds with helium, which loses an electron, which creates a tremendous surge of energy, which means there's always chain reactions. Big nuclear reactions occurring in the sun all the time. Yeah.
We're not in science class.
I know. I would just share it in.
You could teach us science because science is really close to math, so you can teach us science.
Well, I taught the 7th and 8th grade science last year.
Yeah. Tennis.
I'm pretty confident I could figure out 5th and 6th grade
Aren't you teaching
science.
them body this year, like body and health?
Yeah, I'm doing the theology of the body with the 8th grade this year.
What of the body?
The theology of the body.
What is theology of the body?
Some weird stuff. Let's not get into this kind of math.
Yeah, it's more of the,
It's older stuff.
yeah,
No, we're learning
let's
it
go
too.
with that. Yeah.
We're learning it too.
Well, it gets more in-depth and descriptive as you get older, but anyway, it talks about our Catholic beliefs in the society that we live, about what the Bible teaches us, how God wants us to live, and then trying to apply that into our life as we know it. So there's just a lot of gray area situations that you guys probably aren't sure. Is this wrong? Is it right? Is this something that's for God, or is this something for me? There's a lot of questions that start popping up once you start getting to be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 about love, life, marriage, kids, your future, death, heaven, you know. So we cover a lot of that type of stuff. Yeah.
How come some people, I know that kids come from heaven, but they don't, yeah. It's kind of weird. Because in stories for little kids, they say that kids come from heaven. No.
Well,
What they do.
we'll come back. All right, let's try number 6. 4,009 times 5.
That's a pretty hard one.
Yep. 4,009 times 5. So one more. You guys try this one, then I'm going to throw a few longer ones up. I'm going to walk around in a little bit, see what you're up to. See how the notes coming together. Then I'm going to do just sitting here and work all the way through. Yeah, I'm going to work through this one more time. Then after that, I'll give you a couple. I'm going to walk around and see how you're doing with them myself. So, we almost done with this one?
It's already down. I think I know what it is.
All right. So, here we go. So, same process. 9 times 5 is? This is where anybody yells out what 9 times 5 is for me. All right, thank you. So, I write down my 5. What do I do with my 4? Regroup. Carry it over. 5 ones, 4 tens. So 5 times 0 plus. Right.
And 5 plus times 0.
What's 5 times 0?
And then 5 times 4 is 20.
And there we go.
Got 20,045. Mr. Melcher.
Yes.
2 plus 0 is 20. That is a fact.
Not necessarily how you worded it.
What the heck?
You need to rephrase it. As you phrased it, you are incorrect.
2 plus 0 is 20.
The word plus signifies an addition problem. You have signified the number 2 plus 0 is 2.
Yeah. I'm plussing.
Rules of math. All right. I'm going to give you guys 4 of them to work on. When you get them right, I'll check you off and you can go on to your homework. Well, I'll probably just give you 2 because we don't have a ton of time. So here we go. 11, 23,016 times 5, and number 6, number 40.
40?
6 times 700, 3,007. Homework will be number 40. Yep, I'll bring it back. Homework, page 19, numbers 1 through 29. So there's our homework.
Have you been here for a full weekend?
So I'll walk around with the answers. All right.
I did something wrong here.
Okay, I just found it.
Oh yeah, I got it right.
Mr. Melcher.
Yep, I got it right.
Ready?
Are we gonna do that alleyway slash price thing again?
Okay, yeah. We're gonna do that. Oh,
Next. Did I get it?
Oh.
I did it. Wait.
yeah. I can bring it back.
Your homework tonight?
Yeah?
You wanna do your homework tonight?
I don't know.
Mr. Melcher, 7 times 6, 56.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Where's that car waiting for? There's no one coming.
Mr. Melcher,
I
7
got
times
it.
6.
Huh?
What's 7 times 6?
I think I got it down to tiny car.
42.
I'm gonna work them out real quick for the video.
We
We only got about 1 or 2 minutes left.
Throw the answers to me.
All right, so real quick. Number 11. Shh. So it won't take me long. 6 times 5 is 30, so 0, carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 3 is 15. Regroup, carry my 1. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11.
Yay.
Okay. Number 6, you want to rewrite it like this. That's what your first move should be.
Where'd it go?
Rewrite. And same process. 7 times 6 is 42. So there's a 2. Carry my 4. 6 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 3 is 18. So there's my 8. Regroup. Carry my 1. 6 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. And then finally, 6 times 7 is 42.
I got the answer right.
There's my final answer.